just about anywhere that water meets land, you can find a painting. But how do you capture your first impression when you're faced with so much detail? The key is simplification. In the preliminary drawing, I just want to see if it'll fit on the page. And I'm thinking ahead to the painting as I draw. This will all be covered up by opaque paint eventually. And I'm thinking about the colors. I'm going to start with about 6, and I can add to that if I need to later. But I'll need some warm colors, a little bit of blue for the water, which is a mirror of the sky. Raw umber, raw sienna, yellow ochre, cad yellow light, light red, and cobalt blue, and of course white. That should do it. Except this is casein, which is a lot like gouache. It has a hard time getting real dark, so I'm going to add black. You see it at the bottom. And I'm using a big flat brush with brown, black, and dark blue to start painting in the surrounding area, the area around the water in the middle. I find it helps to establish the tones early, the values of light and dark. Because if I have an idea of what's light and what's dark, I can finesse the finer adjustments later, but I want to have the big statement so it reads from a distance at an early stage. Everything is loose and scrubby. The picture doesn't look like anything yet. The thing I'm thinking about is trying to capture that very first impression, the light patch at the center of the picture. You can't go too far wrong with just a light shape surrounded by dark in the middle of your composition. Now you notice I'm using a 3/4 inch flat synthetic brush, and that's pretty much all I'm going to need for this whole painting. Now farther out, the light is hitting the reeds in this bay. It looks like a lake, but really it's part of a river that's been cordoned off by the railroad. So the water's quite still. I've gone about as far as I can go without touching the white, using transparent paints first, but I'll need to start building in the opaques to capture the blue of that sky reflected in the water. The reflection of the leaves is shimmering, fractured, and insubstantial. I'm using opaque paint for the water because I want a solid color to paint the reflections over. And I'm looking for a gradation, dark in the lower foreground area, lighter higher up. It's neither all cool nor all warm. You notice I mixed some warm colors into that blue. And I'm painting across edges. I can come back and cover up the edges of the water later, but first I just need big shapes. And now that I've got the background big areas set up, I can start thinking about the forms, restating those central features of the picture, those big branches and trees. I keep the water in that Tupperware to keep washing out the brushes, so I have a clean brush if I need it. Some of the branches are interrupted by leaves, so I paint them as almost like dots, and I'll paint those leaves over the branches. The branches taper as they leave their base. Usually I paint away from the tree in the pattern of growth that the branch would naturally have. But sometimes you can paint down toward the ground, as long as you keep that taper. And a few delicate touches, edge lighting on the trees at left, and a few fine grasses drawn here with a watercolor pencil. All I can really hope to accomplish in this much time is just a hint, an impression of what I saw. And I try to capture some of the repeating forms, the rhythms in the leaves, in the grasses, and in the wavelets. In the end, it's just a quick impression with a lot of detail left out. Okay, thanks for watching. You might want to check out my website or subscribe to my channel. And then here's a playlist with more good stuff and a video that continues the story. So check them out and share with your friends.